you could hit the ball probably 20 to 25 yards farther without swinging any harder by lowering the loft. I'm gonna say that again because that's a gold nugget. You could probably hit the ball 2 to 3 clubs farther, 25 to 30 yards farther, without swinging the club any harder. You hit the ball high because you have too much loft. You have too much loft because you release the club too early. You release the club too early primarily because the face is too open to the path. The face is primarily open to the path because your left hand grip's too weak. So the solution to getting the handle more forward, compress it more, hit it lower, starts with let's have the left arm straight at setup and have the grip turned a little stronger. And then let's learn how to do the wrist angles to be able to get the handle more forward. If we define the club face angle by the toe to heel, anytime the toe's in front of the heel, that would be good, closed enough. Not close enough, way too open. So even in the beginning of these, I'd like you to err on this being, almost feel like the face, if this is straight up, is tilted down like 30 degrees or so. Now look at the difference in your wrist angles when you do it, right? We're gonna tilt the face down. Awesome. And then take that through impact. Excellent job, beautiful. All right guys, so today's video is something that I see at least 90% of amateur golfers struggle with. In the first half of the video is gonna be more of the analysis section, diving into the details of what that is and why that happens. And the second half of the video is gonna be more of the fixes. What do we do about that? How do we fix? So hopefully you guys sit back and enjoy this video. Big picture, where you're at right now, right? The main core thing we talked about you want to get better is solid contact.
Yeah.
More compression, hit the ball farther.
Lower ball flight.
Lower ball flight.
Yeah, for sure.
Lower ball flight, more consistent contact, more compression.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, easy peasy. When you hit the ball high and you're not compressing it, right? The number one thing that controls your compression is dynamic loft, right? So if we take this, now you and I have never talked about your golf swing before.
No.
So we're gonna let's start simple here. So if I take this club, do you mind if I put this on your club?
Yeah.
So let's just say this shows us our loft, right? Now we've got an 8-iron here. And let's say it's set up, this is like a normal amount of loft. Now if I wanted to hit the ball higher, that would have this sort of look to it, right? Adding loft.
Yeah.
Now if we look at the shaft when that happens, that shaft would be more back, right?
Correct.
So if this is my setup position and my hands go this way at impact, that would be adding loft. That obviously would make the ball go higher and shorter. Now the opposite would be true if this was the loft and I wanted to lower it more piercing. I need to have the shaft looking more forward to do that.
Correct.
So one of the things I think that's important, this is for you, me, and anybody, is like, if my goal is to lower the ball flight, and the number one thing that controls that's the loft of the club, anything you work on should be directly related to that. How do I lower the loft of the club at impact? Which is the first thing we talked about when we talked, right? So you're aware of that. But it all needs to relate to that. So like your takeaway going on plane or not, I always ask myself like, how is this gonna affect me having less loft? Wrist angles, grip, backswing plane, weight shift, whatever. Like how is this gonna affect my ability to do whatever I want to do? Coming from someone who wastes a lot of time doing shit that doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, outside of it being aesthetically pleasing, how do I change that variable? So when we look at your swing and look at your ball flight, everything needs to relate to that outcome. Does that make sense?
Correct.
And then when you're by yourself beyond today,
Yeah.
how would this lower my loft, right? What affects that? So when you can stay right there. When we look at this and we just look at a numbers perspective, we have an 8-iron. Now your dynamic loft there is 32.2. Now, I hate to do this to you, but let me hit one. And I want to show you what my dynamic loft is. And then we're going to talk through why those are. So obviously when you want to lower your height, right, your dynamic loft at 32 is going to directly relate to the height of the ball at 102 and the distance you hit it, right? So if we could take your 8-iron at 86 miles an hour. Now what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and hit an 8-iron at your same speed and just change this variable. And we're going to see how much that changes that variable. I'm going to guess that I'm going to have my dynamic loft at like 23 or 4. So that's almost 10 degrees lower at the same speed. And I bet that'll go like 155, 160. So I say that to you, not as look at me, as you could hit the ball probably 20 to 25 yards farther without swinging any harder by lowering the loft. I'm going to say that again because that's a gold nugget. You could probably hit the ball 2 to 3 clubs farther, 25 to 30 yards farther, without swinging the club any harder, which is huge by just changing the impact stuff.
Definitely.
So I'm going to try and keep that speed the same, 86.9. I'm going to try and have that dynamic loft will be my normal. It should be under 25. And let's see how far that ball goes. So I'm going to do like a smooth, kind of normal-ish. Okay, 88.9, so close-ish, right?
Yeah.
My dynamic loft was 21.2, and then 160 in the air. So outside of that variable, not a lot changed. Now the height there, now I hit that about a groove low, if I'm being honest. The height was a little bit lower, but the point is 21.2 goes into 160. So I'd look at it this way. It's like every club, let's just say, is like 3 to 4 degrees. So if I want you to go from 33, let's say 32, down to like 25, that's like 2 full clubs of distance change with the same thing. So all of that I say, like, A, fixing a problem starts with like understanding it, right? But then B, like, man, the reward at the end of that journey is worth that journey.
Yeah.
So whether we fix it in 1 shot or 10 years, 2 clubs of distance in solid contact is huge.
Yeah.
There's your impact, right? So that's 32 degrees of loft. Hands by the right thigh. We're both very well color coordinated. And there's my impact with the hands forward inside the left thigh, right?
Funny.
So everything we do needs to be to change that piece. The question mark is like, why? Why does it happen? How does it happen? All that sort of stuff. So if we look at your video on the right here, your setup, this is where you can see the weak left-hand grip. And that would be defined by, basically, if we look at the V between your thumb and index finger, that sits over here in front of your left ear by your left collarbone. So your hands are turned quite a bit counterclockwise in the club. All else equal, that has a net effect of opening a club face, having a face that's open to the path. Now, if I got you during your downswing, and let's just say that I'm right and this is like open, just for exaggeration purposes, and that club face points way over here, right? And you need to hit a ball towards a target. The easiest way to square that thing is by flipping your wrists. So when we look at you at impact and your hands are back here, that's your brain trying to square that club face up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
With me?
Yeah.
Now, what if the club face, I'm going to just twist this in your hand. Let's just say this club face was like really closed and you still needed to hit the ball at the target, but it's already like preset closed. Then what would you not do? You wouldn't do a big flip because then it'd be way too closed. In fact, if you got the club face closed enough, I'm going to say that again. In fact, if you got the club face closed enough, you would have to have the handle forward to not hit it left. Now, this is a ridiculous exaggeration, but just to show you the point.
Yeah.
You with me?
Definitely.
What does that all mean? That means that club face angle is the king or queen of the hill that dictates release pattern. As we start to come down, let's draw this up here. Let's draw this. As you start to come down, there we see the shaft gets too steep and the wrists start to throw too early. And I'm telling you that's mainly from your brain trying to close the club face. So this shaft here should be like over here, underneath your shoulder through your mid bicep pointed outside the ball target line. And this left arm angle at this point in time, it's like when you go back, this is really good. So the arm and shaft should be like 90. When you come down, you should be more narrow than that. It should be like 75. See how you're a little wider than that?
Yeah.
So that angle here at left arm parallel should be like this. And that would come from your wrist being loaded more. Your wrist being loaded more. So when you come through, there's your early release. Now, I'm comparing you to Cam Champ. This is a guy who he hits the ball piercing, compresses it, etc. Right? Not that we need to do exactly what he does, but as you come down here, look at him at this point in time. By the time he gets the butt of the club even with the golf ball, like the shaft's about parallel to the ground, he has the butt of the club almost even with the golf ball. So see how loaded his right wrist really bent back, left wrist flat. When we're back here, even behind the thigh, you see how this is fully released. That means your right wrist is not bent back and or up enough. Back and up, loaded more, back and up. So this needs to stay more back, there you go,
Just keep that.
and up, yeah. Easier said than done, but yeah. So that early release angle, what I'm saying to you is what's the easiest way for us to influence that is we're gonna close the face more. That's how we'll fix this. So as you continue to work forward, you see the difference in the release, right? At impact, your hands are over the left thigh. Let's get him an impact. At impact, his hands are past his lead thigh. And again, he's a little exaggerated, but just to give you a model, you see the difference at impact. So his right, look at the angle between his right wrist and see this angle? Still very bent. See your angle? Fully thrown. So we need to have that handle more forward. And then as we start to work through impact, you see a continuation of the same things, right? Left arm's too bent. You got 1, 2, 3 angles. He's got more or less one angle. And then you follow that into the follow through, you got more width. Butt of the club's farther away from him versus we're too close. So all that's to say, like, hey, you release the club too early. Yeah. It's a lot of talking to say, you hit the ball high because you have too much loft. You have too much loft because you release the club too early. You release the club too early primarily because the face is too open to the path. The face is primarily open to the path because your left-hand grip's too weak. So the solution to getting the handle more forward, compress it more, hit it lower, starts with let's have the left arm straight at setup and have the grip turned a little stronger. And then let's learn how to do the wrist angles to be able to get the handle more forward.
Yeah.
I would say based on what I'm seeing, this grip adjustment is probably non-negotiable for you. So we just got to get comfortable with this. So the bad would be palm, hand turn counterclockwise. I'm over-exaggerating a little bit. The good would be right in here, more in the fingers with the hand turned more. Now what that's going to do when you flatten your left wrist out is help close the club face more.
Oh, wow.
Take the loft down, right? So when you do this and you push it forward, it doesn't close the face as much compared to when you do the good way, more in your fingers, wrapped right there. Go ahead. When I do this forward, that really lowers the loft, right? Yeah. So you're not gonna have to do as much work with the wrist angle stuff. So let's take your setup, take your left hand off and put it back on there.
So
yeah, and I'm gonna guide you through how to do this. Good, right there. Good, and that left arm, yeah, good adjustment. So when you're doing your arms, you can relax for a second. When you take your setup, if I stood normal, my arms would be like on the side of my body. You almost have to like bring them forward. So you're trying to get like your triceps like almost on your pec. So if you like let me have this. Do one of these with me where you're just like literally have it chill out and then like pull your arms forward in front of you. You feel that?
Yeah. So
that gets your arms straighter and your elbows closer. That's more of what your setup should feel like. When I first was doing this and to do it, I literally would be on the range like, one of these, right? Like get your arms in closer. Then so your left arm sits more on top of your pec. Go ahead and do that same thing. Yeah, bingo. So see how that's more in front of you?
Yeah.
Now you can keep your left arm straighter. You can relax these, turn these in if you want, but see how that's more on top of your chest there versus it being on the side.
Yep.
So it's like left arm in front, left arm straighter with the grip stronger. Yeah, exactly. So I like that way just to feel that. Let's just do your grip and setup there. Good, atta baby. Good. So this is what your setup should feel like. Now your left arm is straight, but your triceps not popping out, right? So so it should still be, yeah, exactly. So it's straight without it being locked.
Like locked.
Yeah, exactly. Good. What I want to get good at doing here in the beginning to lower the dynamic loft is let's go to about halfway back, just about hip high back. Good. And you do a fairly good job of having this tilted down. If we define the club face angle by the toe to heel, Anytime the toe's in front of the heel, that would be good, closed enough. Not closed enough, way too open. So even in the beginning of these, I'd like you to err on this being, almost feel like the face, if this is straight up, is tilted down like 30 degrees or so. Now look at the difference in your wrist angles when you do it, right? So you're curling it counterclockwise. You're curling it counterclockwise. That makes your right wrist bend back more and your left wrist flex a little more to get to this position. Now, if that's true to get to here, as we work down in the impact, you're gonna have to keep feeling that, keep feeling that, keep feeling that, keep feeling that. You with me? So if you wanna hit a ball here and you close the club face early enough, you have to do that just to hit it towards me. With me?
Yeah.
So let's take your setup one more time. So we're gonna get the club face more closed to lower the dynamic loft. Left arm straight in front, left hand grip, good. Let's go just halfway back. Let's turn, yeah, good, perfect. So that club face is 30 degrees, let's say. Now slowly start to bring that down towards me. Yeah, it goes inside your hands, club face feels closed, and then we work to here. You with me on that?
Yep.
What we wanna get your brain to feel is almost like a hockey shot where it's like, I want you to feel like the face is so closed and I'm gonna want you to hit it towards me. Where like, I have to almost hold on to it, like have the handle way, way, way forward. That's where we want you to get to feel. So when you do that, does it feel like the face is more closed than normal?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
It's like
tilted down.
Closed, yeah.
It almost should feel like the face is pointed down towards the ground.
Yeah.
For you. Let's do one more and then we'll put a ball in. We're gonna tilt the face down. Awesome. And then take that through impact. Excellent job, beautiful. As you go, when you leave here, if I were you, I'd probably put like an alignment rod in the ground, kind of right here, like 5 yards in front of you. And every time you hit with this, your eyes would be looking like right here. So you're looking a little to the right of the stick. And in your mind, it's like, how can I get the ball to launch here with a closed club face? Because there's just no way you would do this to do that. You with me?
Gotcha.
Perfect. So the club face feels tilted down, a little half swing, just swing number one. Atta baby. Okay, so there's your grip. So you see the difference in your grip?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So where's your normal?
I think it was like that 133.
Maybe this one? Here's your normal grip and arm. So this will be a good, yeah. So the normal is the left arm's bent on your side and the grip is too weak. So you can see the glove logo more towards the target, the V. Here's our little practice swing. There, the left arm's straight. You can see more of the glove logo. So what you're shooting for, dude, when you're going and checking this is like this V should sit over by your collarbone, inside your shoulder, same as that. That's a beautiful job. So now that looks normal. I gotta learn how to exit out of there. So the goal, let's see if we can do that. Here we go. So the goal is to change let's do this. Okay, there we go. So when you're doing your takeaway, here's your club face angle. Beautiful. Now in a real swing, I would get the club face to match your spine.
Gotcha.
The leading edge. So that's a little too turned down, but for the sake of this drill, that's excellent. Excellent job. Now what we're looking to do is have that influence. Let's look at this right one, is influence our release pattern. So I'd say if this is your impact right there, here's our handle location. Here's our normal. I would say you shifted that 30% of the way, right? Now that was just one swing. There's your normal. So obviously the shaft's way in front of the lead arm here. And I show you this to show you that's better, but we need to do more. Also to show you, look at your swing length, and that felt like a takeaway.
Yeah.
Which is normal. It's normal for it to go farther than it feels. But that little swing, now look at your club face at the top. That's money. Look at your club face at the top. That's money. Normally, your club face would be more toe down.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible, but it's just a little open. This is more toe down right there. You want this angle, you want that angle to be more like this, which is slightly more up towards the sky. There we go, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So see this angle. It's a little toe and heel a little bit more up towards the sky there. So that's money. Got to do a little bit of work on the delivery pieces. So it's better. Now let's see. The number I want to see is this. Okay, there we go, 29.7. So your first one was what, 32?
33.
33.
Yeah.
So this dynamic loft number is the game you'd have to play if you were doing this. Yeah, okay, 32.2. Come on, man, calm me, killing me. So 29.7 is, let's just call it 2.5 degrees, right? That's almost a club if you were able to do that full swing, full speed. Now, I would say when you practice, if you had a monitor, 25 would be like your margin. I hit 21 as a little thin. Probably 23, 24 would be good at your club head speed. So I would work this swing length until you got to 25. I'd say, okay, boom, that's passing level 1. Give me one on this one where the dynamic loft feels like, oh my God, I'm gonna hit, like I'm gonna try and get that in the teens. See what I'm saying? Now that's not a real swing,
Yeah.
right? But the point is like,
Just exaggerate.
my brain knows how to get to 16. You with me?
Yeah.
So like watch this one on the right. Now I super exaggerate this one, but look at where my handle is. See how far forward the handle is?
Yeah.
That was me hitting like a punch shot underneath a tree. But that's the point of it. Is like, that's how far forward I need to go. And you can always learn how to dial that back.
Okay.
And the more your brain comes up with like, okay, cool, Eric, but like, how do I get my hands forward? I'm gonna guide you, but the more you come up with that, the easier this is gonna be for it to transfer and like last out in the course.
Okay.
So I think you did an excellent job with the grip. You did an excellent job with the club face, but we gotta get the handle more forward. So you show me your attempt at getting that to like 16.
Down.
Yeah. So if this is above 20, we're not gonna be happy here, dude. This is an underneath the tree punch shot sort of shot. Doesn't matter how you hit it. Grip, yeah.
A whiskey, yeah.
Grip is strong. Nice, good.
Come on.
Okay, 28.7. Now here's again. Now this is everything. You have to feel a mile for it to change this much. And that's you, me, Tiger Woods. That is normal. But the thing is, if you feel the mile today and it changes 1 degree, and you do it again tomorrow for a mile and it changes another degree, in a week or two, it's normal. You with me? The hard part's like going the mile every day for 7 days in a row.
Yeah.
But you have to go the mile. You got to go the full mile. You have to feel, you, me, anybody, to get it more forward, like your left wrist stays more bowed longer and or your right wrist stays more bent back longer. Exactly. Now your body still turns and the hands keep moving as you do it.
Okay.
That's effectively the feel. So the handle keeps moving up and to the left and forward, but that left wrist feels like it stays bowed longer. The right wrist feels like it stays bent back longer. Yeah, exactly. And we do that with a body motion. Like your body motions are fine there. We're turning as we're doing it. But it's for you never gonna be like, just turn and let your hands go along with it. That's not gonna work for you because your normal's this. You with me?
Yeah.
This could be I don't know if this will be in the video, but good for someone. If our normal is this motion, our brain's always gonna do this motion unless we force it to do something different. And none of that's gonna be natural and automatic, right? That's for you, can't just be just rotate and let your hands go. That's cool on theory, on paper for some people, but if we have to fix it by exaggerating the opposite. So like next summer, I wouldn't want you to be still doing this. But today, you have to do some of that just to get to 0. This is the mile, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you are still struggling getting the solid contact, the consistency of the swing, the impact that you're looking for, please don't just keep doing the same things. Come to CogornoGolf.com, click the link in the description down below, send your swings, and you still get your first 14 days for free, you get your free trial. Send in your swings. I know that we can help you out with that.